Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Like Yachts here. It's Friday morning, and is it raining? I don't know. It kind of looks dreary out there. The Raptors are playing the New York Knicks here in Toronto tonight, and we could really use a win tonight. Obviously, we need to change the feelings around the team so that the team is more positive, and we just need a win. Pascal wants reward for his hard work. Fred VanVleet interviewed by JJ Reddick this week, and some of the clips are coming out starting yesterday. The full interview should be out today, apparently. And he is talking about his shooting problems. He's talking about this team struggles, and he's very open and candid. In fact, he did say what we've kind of been saying here, that the role change this year has made things really weird and awkward and are a big part of his struggles right now, that he's just not being asked to do the same things as what he was doing last year, and it's a different outcome. It's an adjustment, and it's part of like why things are so unstable with the Raptors in some ways. So check out the JJ Reddick clips with Fred VanVleet. That's good stuff. All right, let me see who's here in the morning. Right away, it's Monique, Superfan Lawrence. Thank you, Monique, for being here. Good morning, everyone, and happy game day. Let's crush the Knicks against Mr. 52. Way to get Fred on the JJ Reddick now. We know where Fred's head's at, and team's very informative now as fans lifted him up. Yeah, there's a lot of fans coming to Fred's support in all kinds of different places, whether it's on his Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. And there's a lot of people coming after him, but a lot of his fans are standing up and being loud and speaking up for him also, and saying we appreciate him. Once again, like I said yesterday, every single person that comes about talking about Fred right now, come at him from the respect that he was undrafted, that he got into the league, he worked his ass off, he made the team, he became a starter, and then he played in the NBA Finals and won a championship. And not only that, he won a G League championship before that. One way that Richard Jefferson and JJ Reddick described Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet, these are G League champions. These are NBA champions. These are winners. These are champions. So you want to trade a champion, a winner from our team, even if he's slumping temporarily right now? That is folly. That is a bad idea. And I'm glad y'all don't run the Toronto Raptors, because we're going to see what happens with him. Watch. In the weeks and the months to come, we'll see what happens with Fred, and we'll see who's talking about what when it comes to Fred very soon. Trust me, we will see who talks about what, because I bet on him. I'm going to bet on him. He bets on himself. I'm going to bet on him too. And I will put my money down and say Fred VanVleet is going to come out of this, and he's going to be very, very good at some point in the season and help us win at some point, even if we do have losing mixed with it too. All right, nameless is saying, let's go Freakosaurus Rexes. Freakosaurus Rex. Yeah, that's somebody's moniker in Raptor land. Somebody goes by that. They're always calling Talking Raptors Freakosaurus Rex or something. I don't know. There's some name like that. Tom Duke is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. He's got a bunch of Raptor emoticons there. I like to see that, Tom. Let's see if we can get some double-digit scoring off the bench. Maybe like 5 or 6 Raptors get double digits instead of like 4, and like one of them has like 40 points. I mean, that we need some spread out stuff. More guys spread it out scoring. That would be great. Thank you, please. Let's go win on a Friday. Yeah, we won the last 2 Fridays. So we're in good shape on Friday now. We started the season bad for Fridays, but we've been beating people on Fridays now. So maybe Friday's now a good night for us. So the Knicks are interesting. Let me start with the injuries real quick. There's one guy on the injury list for them and one guy on the injury list for us. And y'all know who's on our injury list. It's Mr. Big Toe or Little Toe or whatever toe. I don't even know which toe it is. It's like which little piggy went to market, Otto Porter. I'm not even sure. I don't care which toe it is. Just get healthy and come back. Otto Porter Jr., the only name on our Raptors injury list. Thank goodness. There's some gratitude to have on a Friday. But also, with an injury list so short, there's no excuses. We need to win because we're playing with our actual real team now. These excuses from before, yeah, sure, they were valid when people like OG and Pascal, Fred, Gary, Scottie, different people are out. Then we can make excuses. Precious. But now we're pretty much healthy, and the only person missing is Otto Porter Jr. So we need to win, Raptors. This is the Knicks. Missing tonight, our own Canadian buddy RJ Barrett. He's already been ruled out for the game tonight, so there will be no RJ against the Raptors tonight. So there's your injury report for tonight. No RJ and no OtToe. And that's about it, y'all. There's nobody else listed. And it's for sure RJ Barrett will not play tonight, you guys. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying. Tom's also saying, I enjoyed Fred VanVleet on JJ's podcast, but P Skills also had an encouraging interview. Okay, so Pascal's got a new interview out also. I got to check out. Yeah, all right. Mike's saying, salute the real ones. Project Truth always. All right, Mike, check out Logical Raptors Fanatic on YouTube. Dropping content every Saturday at 2. Raptors superfan Monique saying, good, positive, Tom. Indeed. Yeah, she likes what Pascal was saying yesterday. I haven't seen that clip. I'll have to go find it. Isaac Campbell saying, W Friday. Let's go. Yeah, W Friday. Yeah, Friday's a good day for people. They love Fridays. Friday's the end of the week and get some weekend going on. So, yeah, let's make this a good one, Raptors. Let's get that W tonight against the Knicks. You know, the Knicks are interesting. We stopped the streak against them the first time we played them. Not even a month ago, not too long ago, that game where Pascal got 52 at Madison Square Garden. Well, they went on a losing streak after we beat them. They lost 5 straight after that, after we beat them. And then what do you know? They started winning again. And I think they're on a 3 or 4 game winning streak right now. So why don't we do the same thing we did before and streak bust them? Yeah, 3 game win streak for the Knicks right now. Let's streak busters, on the Knicks once again. Steal that streak inertia of the New York Knicks. And I hope that's what happens tonight. So streak busting is in effect tonight. Let's go, Raptors. Break that losing streak of a couple games that we've got and bust that winning streak for the Knicks. That's what I want to see. Tom Duke saying, 100%, Mo. Made me feel bad for having any doubtful moments. Let's stay positive, guys. Okay, this must be a really powerful interview. I mean, I saw the interview from 2 days ago in practice, if that's the one you're talking about. That may be the one you guys are talking about. Yeah, that's the one where he's talking about how it sucks, and he's trying to get the reward for working so hard. And yeah, there's a couple different things he's saying in there. Yeah. Jimmy Pope is saying, Fred is one of my favorite players, but I didn't like some of the excuses I heard in the interview. Yeah, that clip is interesting and kind of like, I don't know, Fred. In some ways, it's like, I know your roles changed, but in some ways you could still just play. Like, we obviously just need you to do what you did last year if you can. I don't know. It is. I got that feeling a little bit too, Jimmy, that it's like, come on, Fred, this is kind of a cop out. But listen, we got to just give him the benefit of the doubt. And like you said, you like him. He's one of your favorite players too. But yeah, I don't know. That interview had bad timing, I think, in some ways. I mean, I'm happy that he went ahead and did it, because he probably committed to doing this interview with JJ Reddick maybe a little bit ago, and it just happened to be timed with like a part of the Raptors season where things aren't going good. So I don't know. I mean, it is weird. Some of the stuff he said was kind of like, Fred. But also, I listen, like I said yesterday, I think there's personal stuff that's going on with him and his fiance being pregnant. There's probably something that he's leaving out also. So there's a little bit more to it than he's willing to publicly divulge. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. Tom Duke's got the OtToe. Yeah, you put the E on the end of it. That's pretty funny, Tom. That is pretty funny. You know what? You're a funny, letter comedian. You always add a letter to words and make some sort of funny, statement that way. OtToe Porter, OtToe. Okay, now Nameless one upped you on that. He put the OtToe Porter Jr. in there. Okay, guys, you're funny. Okay, Logical Raptors Fanatic saying, bottom line of Fred VanVleet, Fred is in a temporary slump. Yeah, his health, pregnant wife, role change. This year has been tough for him, but we need him, and it's clear from how the team's been, growing pain issues. Yeah, that's even better. Tom thinks that's even better. Tom from TSN interview, I think, was his new one. Okay, Tim from TSN. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Tom. Thanks for dropping knowledge on me about that interview with Pascal yesterday. All right, let's keep going. Here's our referee crew check for tonight. New York Knicks in Toronto. Our first ref crew chief is Mark Davis. Mark Davis is a notorious ref for the Raptors in his history. He is the one who stole a game from us in Sacramento in 2016. He's been around for a bit, 26 years in the league. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He still lives in Chicago. His favorite TV show is The Wire. He likes the movie Glory. Favorite musician, John Coltrane, some good old jazz. Favorite book, Lonesome Dove. He'd most like to visit Venice. His bucket list to fly a helicopter along the Chicago River. And his favorite app is Cisco AnyConnect. I guess he just likes getting online wherever he is. His favorite meal is pancakes. That's right. Mark Davis is the one who all along has wanted what Tom Duke has given out. So pancakes it is for Mark Davis. He is very proud to get them. We won the last game that Mark Davis refereed for us this season. So Mark Davis has been an enemy to the Raptors in the past, but he's made amends for his mistakes and sins towards the Raptors franchise. And he's tried to show he does not have a bias against the Toronto Raptors. And I appreciate that. A little fun fact, Mark likes to play pickleball. What is pickleball, y'all? Do you know what pickleball is? If anybody knows what pickleball is in the chat, please explain what the game of pickleball is. Is it I got a baseball or a stick, like a stick ball, and they pitch a pickle over the deck and you try and hit the pickle out? I don't know. What is pickleball? Somebody please tell me what that is. Mark Davis's win percentage when we are playing is our win percentage when he is refereeing. Sorry, when we are playing. What's his win percentage when we're playing? 52% of the time the Raptors win when Mark Davis is refereeing, and the Knicks win 47% of the time. So we have the advantage with our crew chief, Mark Davis, historically. But once again, the Knicks have been a futile franchise over the last 26 years. So that would make sense that we would have a better record than the Knicks, considering. All right, second ref is Sean Corbin. Yes, we know Sean Corbin. Usually I say if somebody's named Sean, that's a good ref for us. And that is true because Sean Corbin has been around longer than Mark Davis. They've been around about, well, let me see. Yeah, Mark Davis is he's a bit older as a ref. Sean Corbin. His favorite TV show is CSI Miami. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland. He now lives in Florida. His favorite movies are the Godfather movies. His favorite musician is Brian Culbertson. His favorite book is Quiet Strength. He would like some steak and lobster. So we got the pancakes, steak and lobster for Sean Corbin. His hidden talent is cooking. He'd like to drive cross country in an RV. His favorite app is News, and he'd most like to visit Johannesburg, South Africa. So Sean Corbin played baseball and basketball at Coppin State University and Townsend Catholic High School. So he was an athlete to the collegiate level, Sean Corbin. And Sean Corbin doesn't have a horrible win percentage for us. We win 53% of our games when Sean Corbin is refereeing. Meanwhile, the Knicks win 39% of their games. So once again, we've had a better last 30 years with Sean Corbin than the Knicks have as far as winning percentage. So Sean Corbin's a friendly rep. So far, we're okay. I like Mark Davis right now because he does really try not to show any favor against us because he doesn't want to be painted as being unfair to the Raptors. And then the last ref tonight is the nicest ref for the Raptors. He is one of the top 5 refs in the league for the Raptors statistically. It is Brandon Adair. Brandon Adair is from Norfolk, Virginia. He still resides in the state of Virginia. His favorite TV show is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's pretty cool. His favorite movie is The Pursuit of Happiness. I think he likes Will Smith. Favorite musician, Charlie Wilson. Favorite book are David Baldacci books. He would like some surf and turf. So we've got 2 people looking for steak and lobster on this game tonight. Trip Case is his favorite app. He'd most like to visit Rome, and his bucket list is to skydive. Brandon Adair enjoys volunteering at charity events in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So there you go. A little bit of fun facts about Brandon Adair in his 5th season as a referee. We win 75% of the time when Brandon is present. And we have not seen him yet this season. This will be the first game he's refereed for us this season. Meanwhile, the Knicks win 40% of their games when Brandon is there. So all 3 refs statistically favor us over the Knicks. But that is to be expected because the Knicks have lost a lot of games in the recent years. So there you go. Ref check, Mark Davis, Sean Corbin, Brandon Adair. And I don't hate this crew. I think this crew could help us, especially since we're at home. And Tony Brothers was trying to help us get a game win. It may seem like these guys are going to come in and try and help us get a win at home too. I don't mind getting stuff on a silver platter from the refs right now. We need all the help we can get. It really does seem like that for our team right now. So there's your ref check. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Monica's saying Gary Trent Jr. Interview with Lindsey Dunn, funny and cool. Yeah, he's going over his clothing or something, and she's always doing fun stuff for CP24 and City TV. You know, Lindsey Dunn is a fun reporter. She's not asking the depressing questions. She's not coming at them with like bullshit like Doug Smith. She's coming at them with fun. And that's the great thing about Lindsey Dunn is that she can come and ask Gary Trent Jr. some cool questions and get a laugh out of him, even when the team's in a dark place. Well, thank you, Lindsey Dunn, for your positive Raptors content. We love you for it. Thank you. Continue to put stuff out like that. And it's much better than some of the bullshit that people like Grange and Lewinberg put out, stuff like that. All right. Callie Mayer is saying, we need this win. We need to attack the paint for easier shots and continue to play tough defense. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a couple of problems with our team. We can't shoot threes. We can't score. But one of the problems that I don't like about this team on the download that nobody's talking about enough is that we are playing an interior defense similar to our Tampa year right now. That, sure, we played pretty good against Milwaukee defensively the other day, but one of the things that was going on in that game at times that nobody wants to talk about and nobody is really bringing up is that we have no low post defensive presence anymore. Last year we had one, but this year we don't to a degree. And I feel like one of the areas of games that we could be trying to dominate and do better because the makeup of our team is in the paint and just dominating, getting close baskets, getting in there and just bullying them as much as possible. Scottie, OG, Thad Young, I don't care. Whichever one of you guys can get down there and get little hooks or little shots over people, we need to go and take it at them. Mitchell Robinson's a little bit of a shot blocker, but who gives a fuck? Let's go in there and score on him. Scottie, you can score on Brook Lopez and Miles Turner. You can score on Mitchell Robinson. So take it right to him. As soon as the jump ball is over, Scottie, just like Nick, call the play to get Scottie down low post, and whoever is behind him, he can score on. I don't give a shit which one of the 5 Knicks is guarding him. He will be able to score over him. That's just who he is. He's able to do this. We know it's all out in the open now. We know that you can do this, Scott. So get off to the right start and let's call his number right away. We know Pascal's going to get shots. We know Fred at some point is going to have to jack up shots and hopefully they'll go in, but let's let Scottie get going from the beginning of the game tonight. I would really like to see this, and let's establish like some presence around the basket. And say, listen, this is our house. You're coming to Scotiabank Arena. You're in Toronto. You don't fucking come to our basket in the paint. We put you on the floor if you come in here. And once again, Nick, I will say, Kem Birch, you put that motherfucker in and let him play. Excuse me, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry, Wendy Sparks. But I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just cussing because I'm pissed off because he's not getting to play. Those DMPs for Kem Birch are stupid. Those are dumb DMPs. He's one of the most valuable, best players on our roster. I don't understand why this man doesn't get to play because he provides something that we desperately need all the time. And that's a low post presence that can seal out and be a physical person around the basket and somebody that just throws some meat and body around and with the big boys down there. You see Zubac do this to us, Miles Turner, DeAndre Ayton, all these big guys come to Toronto and they can do whatever the fuck they want near the basket. That's why I want Kem Birch out there to knock them down on the ground if they try and come near our basket. So please, Nick Nurse, Kem Birch, please. We have not seen him this week and we've lost both games. So yeah. Thank you, Callie, for your comment. Nameless is saying pickleball is like badminton for old people. All right, this is interesting. So they're basically like got the little like rackets, and they're kind of bah, bah, bah. And what is the pick? Is it a pickle there? Not a shuttlecock or whatever they call that thing? A shuttlecock? I don't know. It's like, ooh, pickleball. All right. That's interesting. It's not like cornhole or anything, right? I don't know. There's all these food-related games that people play now when they're drunk. I don't drink anymore, so I'm not playing cornball or cornhole or whatever, cornball and pickleball. I don't know what this shit is. Tom Duke's saying, all right, he's got the pancakes. He's got a birthday cake out there too. That's pretty nice. Whose birthday is it? It was Nameless's birthday yesterday. Whose birthday is it today? I don't know. He's got the 100% Canadian maple syrup pancakes. Cake and maple syrup for everyone. Pickleball is fun. Guess I'm old. Okay, Tom plays pickleball. He thinks it's cool. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm gonna have to look at pickleball and see if it's good for an old man like me to go check out. And then also, I'm gonna have to go and watch that interview with Pascal on with Tim. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. But Tom, thanks for the pancake and cake syrup. Yeah, cakes with syrup. It's coming to Toronto very soon. Be watching out for cakes with syrup. Lion Hunter's here today. Let's see what Lion Hunter's saying. Fred's interview was very revealing. I don't understand the hate. Disappointed in some of our fan base, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like, listen, don't you realize that this man had a hand in bringing us a championship to the city? In some ways, y'all should just have goaded him and just left him alone. Just say, listen, put respect on this man's name because he's one of the reasons why we have an NBA championship in our city. So come on, why can't we come at him from this direction, y'all? Instead of coming at him with like, we want you out, Fred. Why are you suck? We hate you. These people need to get a life and go on, move on. You don't want to watch the Raptors, you don't want to support people like Fred VanVleet, don't watch. Go and watch another sport or something. Because, yeah, we may be losing a bit this season. That's just how it is. Y'all need to accept it or just, like, move on is what I'll say to some people right now. You want success, W's all the time? Well, it's not the real world. Sometimes you're going to have to take L's. And this season, we're taking L's for a little bit. So don't take it out on Fred. It's not really his fault. In fact, if anybody is trying hard and trying to get this out of the mud, it's Fred. And he is somebody we need to respect because he is an NBA champion. He's a champion of the Toronto Raptors. And we need to respect and revere those individuals. So I'm with Lion Hunter. Y'all get off Fred's case. This man, we don't even know what he's dealing with right now. Totally. Logical saying Fred VanVleet was used to Lowry creating for him, and you can see how Flynn in that role has Fred VanVleet looking better with the way Flynn creates. Spicy and OG and Scottie are different in how they create. Fred will adjust. Yeah, there's a lot of adjustment this year, and it's not been smooth. It's not taken easily, and it hasn't just been a easy ride through the adjustment. Sometimes you can adjust and it just clicks and works perfectly, and everything's smooth sailing. Sometimes it doesn't. There's kinks and it doesn't work out, or somebody has to figure out exactly how the role needs to be played correctly to be effective to get W's. And I think that's a lot of what's happening with the Raptors. These roles are not totally figured out how to do correctly to the point where they add up to a win. So we have to be patient. They're in development literally on figuring out new roles. Scottie is a big part of this. Trying to figure out his role and what he's supposed to be doing for us is a big part of this. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Optimistic about game today. Yeah, Scottie's strength and OG's strength can help with our low post presence. Yeah, I want to bully the shit out of the Knicks. Like, we can bully them. We need to, they need to look at the standings and say, this motherfucking team's above us in the standings? Nah, we need to change that a little bit by getting a win and putting them down 1-2. Yeah, this is all kinds of motivation. Raptors, where are you getting your motivation right now? Is it just because you're miserable and the team is sucking and we're losing too much? That's your motivation? No, your motivation should be, I'm sick of being, that team is not better than us. We can beat them. Your motivation should be like, we are better than the Knicks. We kicked their ass already. We owe them beatdowns for the rest of forever in the NBA. And just get up for this game. Motivate yourself in the craziest ways. Like say Leon Rose, he rejected a trade when I was involved. And he said I wasn't good enough physical wise. So I want to beat his ass and his team. I don't know. Make some shit up. Do something to get motivated tonight that you want to kill the Knicks as far as on the court in competition. And just like make some shit up and really take it to heart that this is a one-on-one matchup sometimes where you are Scottie versus Julius Randle. And that you have to outperform your counterpart on the other side. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks. If we can beat individual matchups, like Pascal gets 52 in Madison Square Garden, he was absolutely the best player on the court, and he led his team to victory. That's what I'm saying. Who's going to step up for the Raptors and be like Pascal in Madison Square Garden tonight and lead the team to victory? Who's going to be the absolute best player on the court at Scotiabank Arena tonight that leads their team to victory? Who is it going to be? Who's going to step up? Is it going to be a Grayson Allen dagger 3? Fuck that shit. Make sure it's one of those Raptors that steps up and carries water in clutch situation to make sure we get to that W. Fred, that has been you in the past and maybe you tonight. And I would love to see that. But think about that, y'all Raptors. You got to beat them in individual matchups, Randall versus Siakam, whatever. Beat them in the individual matchups. Jalen Brunson, Fred VanVleet. Who has a better game tonight? Who has a better game tonight? Mitchell Robinson or Scottie Barnes. Who has a better game tonight? Whoever has a better game tonight in those kind of matchups, that team will win. So that's what I'm saying. Beat them on the individual level, and as a team, y'all will have beaten them also. So yeah, you go Raptors. We got to beat them tonight. Rana Dan is here again. Good to see you again today. Ask Siakam to stop attacking the basket. Since every other Raptor has to clear out to give Siakam space, he needs to operate. I'm okay with it every once in a while, but I don't like doing it over and over again ad nauseum, that we become too predictable. But we do need to switch it up, and that is a very effective way for us to score. And in some ways, it's our bread and butter right now, unfortunately, because the outcome of success is pretty good with percentages as far as getting scores, especially with how bad our offense is. So, I know that it's annoying and maybe it seems like he's a ball hog and he's taking a lot of space to do this stuff, but it is kind of our best strategy to kind of consistently score right now, is to put the ball in Pascal's hands and try and let him just make magic happen, because he's doing way better than he was like even 2 years ago. He's making a lot of those shots way up more often than he did like just a couple years ago. He missed a lot of those shots before, and it was really grown like, oh no, he missed again. It's a layup. He threw it up and it rimmed and rolled out. Well, that's happening less, and he's making more of them. So it is what it is. He's got to attack the basket. That's just a huge part of what we're doing. It's just on the menu. It's just got to be there because we don't get enough points. We have to have him do that. We don't get any points if we don't. Monique saying Pascal number 6 on the All-Star voting. Good. Keep voting. Wow, I'm happy. That is nice to see that he is up there near the top. That is something that is not easy to do, because that's not just Raptor fans voting for him. That's other people in the league seeing who he is and what he's done and giving him some respect by throwing him an All-Star vote. I like that he's up there with that. And you know what? It's going to be a weird situation to see whether he makes the All-Star or not. I really hope he does. I do hope that we get a representative there. And in some ways, I would tell the NBA, you're smart to do that, because you do want your whole, like a big part of your international market to be interested in the All-Star weekend. And getting a Raptor or some sort of Raptor representation there is very important for that in some ways. If you don't have any Raptors around All-Star weekend, we turn it off. I don't watch it usually. Like I know I will because of the nature of this channel. But in years past, when the Raptors did not have any All-Star representation, I did not watch the All-Star weekend. So it's like you want to have our side of the border more interactive with All-Star weekend and interested with the All-Star in Utah. Well, give us Siakam as an All-Star in the game, and then we'll be more interested in watching it. Let's see. Monique is saying, oh, yeah, I already read that. Logical is saying 3 and D center, aka Precious. Second half is exactly what could get us back to good. So maybe getting another and more vet guy could be the move, in my opinion. Plus, if you think about the Embiid Simmons fit, Scottie Barnes plus C3s. Are you talking about Christian? I don't know what C3s is, but yeah. A 3 and D would be nice. Yeah, a 3 and D center, aka Precious. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like that. He's not really the 3 as much as the D. He's definitely a good defender. The 3, it comes and goes, and sometimes it looks really good. He's dialed in. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting second half of the season. I really hope that we can make it better than things and get closer to 500 and see what happens. Name was saying, yeah, Tom, it's really fun. It's low impact fun. Pickleball is low impact fun. All right. You guys are getting me interested. Maybe I need to join a pickleball league in Tallahassee or in Toronto. Why did I say Tallahassee? I'm not living in Tallahassee. I lived there for years. Tom Duke's saying, yeah, the ball is like a plastic hollow ball and it's a great workout. Okay, so you just have little rackets and it's like a wiffle ball. It's like a little wiffle ball. And is there a net? Is like badminton? Is it just like badminton, except instead of a shuttlecock, there's a little wiffle ball? Is that okay? All right, I'm starting to learn about pickleball here today. One of the favorite things of Mark Davis to do. Giovanni's here. Good to see Giovanni. A voice of a very realistic voice in the Raptors nation. Let's see. Fred VanVleet is gone. Giovanni. Fred VanVleet will bet on himself and opt out of his contract in the mediocre free agent market, so Raptors will trade him. Yee! Oh, well, this is what Giovanni thinks. Well, we'll have to see. I'm not going to speculate too much until things happen and people's feet are moving different ways and going different places. Then we'll talk about it. But yeah, I won't speculate on this, especially since it hurts my heart, and I don't like hearing it. But I don't know if Giovanni's right or not. He could be. I don't know. OG Van Barnes Jr. 43. Did you hear that Scottie Barnes unfollowed Fred? What? What? And with that name, why are you putting that out there? I don't know if that happened. I don't know what's going on with that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on with Scott exactly. Obviously, he's been kind of like not on Twitch, but that doesn't make any sense that he would have done that. Let me just look at something real quick. Now, where did he unfollow him? What are you saying? Was it on like what platform? You're just saying he just unfollowed him. Who knows? Maybe Scotty's doing a social media reset like Fred did like a month or so ago, where he just unfollowed everything. I don't know. Either way, I don't know if I can confirm what you're saying. Naco the Nacho saying Masai did say we have to be patient. To be fair to Fred VanVleet, I think Nick is expecting more out of him than maybe he should. I don't know. Nick's very like kind to him, and he talks him up. He doesn't get mad at him or talk him down. In fact, you can tell he's kind of like one of his favorite players on the team. So yeah, I don't know. I think that we all expect more from Fred. That's what he was saying in the JJ Reddick interview. He expects more from himself, and he's not happy with how things are going at all because he wants to play like 10 times better. And that he expects way more from himself. He puts a lot of pressure on himself in some ways, but he gets results from doing that. So I can't be too upset about that. All right, let's see. Tom Duke has a YouTube link. I'm just going to look at it, see what this is. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, it won't let me look at it. Let's see if this one opens. Nope, something went wrong. Sorry, Tom, I can't look at your links. They're both the interviews. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm in a weird like zone where that is not watchable for me. All right, Daddy Gates is here. Good morning, Lex, and all the Raptor freaks. The Raptors organization has remained drama-free for the last few years, more or less. So all this takes is getting used to. Yeah. And I think that, like, listen, we don't want any drama on our team. So don't be stirring up no drama, people. Yeah, we haven't had many losing times like in recent history at all. So we all have to get adjusted to it and kind of deal with it. And we're not used to it. It's kind of weird. Cool Cat saying we have to work on Scotty's aggression so he can contribute all throughout the game. Something in his personality that we have to work on. He has green light. Team success needs him. Yeah, we just need him to assert himself right away at the beginning of the game. You do that jump ball, Scott, right away. Get into it. I mean, we've seen you fully engaged in the game defensively in a good way recently. Well, we need to see you fully engaged in an offensive way right from the start of the game. It's not like, listen, go get those easier shots to make it easier later on for you to feel like you have a rhythm so that you can hit those threes when they leave you alone out there, like Milwaukee did in the last game. You got to establish that you have a shooting touch right from the start, and you can do it so much easier than some of the rest of the Raptors if you just get that good position and get in there, get that easy high percentage shot, get some good feelings going. The big difference between that and what you did on Milwaukee on Wednesday is that you missed a whole bunch of shots at the beginning. And in a way, you could have really helped the Raptors at the beginning of the game not go like 0 for 15 from the field. At some point, you guys got to say, like, oh, crap, we're 0 for 15. Well, we need to throw the ball down to Scottie down low because he can get us like a 75 to 80% shot that will go in. It's just good basketball theory. Get as close as possible with the most dominant player on your team and let him just get an easy basket to cut the bleeding of not scoring. I wish that they had figured this out before like the fourth quarter with Brook Lopez and how they could just take it to him and score over him. So that's something tonight. Like we can't see the Raptors come out and not score for the first 5 minutes of the game like they did in the last one because we now see how they could score real easy right away. And like I said, Scott, you hit that first shot down low. Maybe you hit a second one or a third one really close to the basket, right around, get some good dominance filling. And then boom, all of a sudden your three will start dropping because you'll have confidence. You'll have the ball start rolling in the right direction because you made easy shots to build to the big shots outside. And that's what we need from you, man. We got to need you to be aggressive. We need points. Clear and simple. We need production. And Pascal's doing his part. Fred is trying. Gary's been fantastic. Well, you and OG need to be more consistently on and giving us almost 20 points or right around 20 points all the time. You made up for it late, but when I see you score 19 points in a fourth quarter and overtime like you did in the last game, it makes me wonder how much you could have got if you'd been asserting yourself the whole entire game. Like, whoa, you got 19 late, but you know what? You could have gotten over 30 if you had woke up and played a certain way in the first half. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, Scottie, come on out there and establish dominance from the start so you can get your offensive game rolling in the right direction right away. And by product, you help the team get rolling in the right way instead of having a stagnant, really bad part of the beginning of the game. Seymour Papis here. Beat the Knickerbockers. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Seymour Papis. Let's beat those Knicks. Ooh, New York Knicks. We don't like you. We want to beat you. Jay Conda saying, good morning, Raptor freaks. Sending good vibes. Let's go Raptors. Yes, Jay Conda. Thank you for coming in and sending the vibes out. Let's get those good vibes in Toronto. I think it is going to be raining tonight, although the rain didn't help us against Milwaukee. Hopefully that rain will help us today. OG Van Barnes Jr. 43 saying, talk about Scottie unfollowing Fred. I ain't going to talk about that shit because I don't perpetuate shit that I don't know if is real or true or not. I don't know. I haven't seen this. The only person that's told me this is you. And I'm not going to go into something that I'm not knowledgeable about on that subject. I don't even know if it's true what you're saying. So I don't know how to elaborate on this. You can tell us that you've seen this or you've heard this. I don't know if you're being honest. So I'm not even, I don't know what to say about it. What do you want me to say? I don't know if you're telling us the truth is what I'll say. How about that? G said, was he following Fred before though? Yeah, see, I don't understand this. Y'all always get so bent up. Who the fuck is paying attention to everybody's social media and paying attention to who follows who and who unfollows who? Who has that kind of life? Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Are you just paying attention to celebrities or basketball players and who they're following and they're not following? Get a life. Go do other things. Who cares? Go do other things. People want to read into shit too much these days. Fred deleted his social media and deleted following everybody, and everybody had a cow earlier this year. And it was stupid, the whole reason why people freaked out. So this is the same kind of shit. Listen, you want to think that Freddie and Scottie have a problem? You go fucking ahead and think that with your stupid ass name. Because it's not following your name if you're like that. Do you care about the Raptors? Do you like the Raptors? Well, why the fuck are you trying to pull across threads like this? OG Van Barnes Jr. 43. Because you don't deserve to have that name if you're coming in here with that kind of garbage, tabloid shit. So don't keep pushing it, seriously, because you get pushed back. Because we ain't about this. We ain't about unraveling the Raptors. We're about building them up and keeping them solid. So if you want to fucking cause dissension between two players, yeah, you're going to get the ire of me. So you go ahead and keep going. Yeah. I ain't going to elaborate on something I don't even know is fucking true. So there you go. There you go. Tom Duke saying, is there anything to that? I really don't care, but also I do. I don't know. And I don't listen. I've heard, well, once again, I said this yesterday, and y'all need to listen to me. I've heard Scottie personally on Twitch talk about Fred VanVleet, and he has nothing but a lot of respect and admires him. I mean, listen, he sees him as an undrafted guy. In some ways, they are from different paths of life. They do not have a lot in common in some ways. Scottie is a lottery pick, and everything in some ways is easier for him than Fred. Fred is shorter than Scottie. Fred was undrafted. Scottie was a top 4 pick. This is the thing. They don't totally have a lot in common in some ways, but they bridge that gap for their love and passion for winning. It's a very similar thing to Norman and Fred, that they became fast friends because they both realized they wanted the same thing. They want to win. And don't get it twisted. This is the same thing that these two guys share. And there's no problem between them. They celebrate each other's wins and good things that they do on the court. If you watch the game closely, Scottie goes crazy when Freddie makes a good layup or shot, and vice versa. Fred celebrates Scottie when he makes shots. Scott said that Fred is one of the best and he loves him. And then meanwhile, Fred says in interviews he wouldn't have traded Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant this past summer. So come on now. What are you trying to do? What is your reasoning, or what is your motive for why you want to put this shit out here or push it here? Seriously. What is your motive, OG Barnes and Ananobi 4382 Nick Nurse? What is your motive, motherfucker? because I'm serious. I'll come at you if you keep pushing this shit around here. Because you're doing the exact opposite of what we do on this channel. That's right. Yeah. Tom Duke saying, seriously, pickleball is just like badminton with a wiffle ball. You got it, Lex. People are putting courts in their yards. It's so popular out west. Cool. Wow. All right. We just don't have enough real estate in the city here to put a pickleball net out because we ain't got no yard. Jimmy saying, in my opinion, Scottie should be the second option. I hate seeing him be the fourth option. You know, it switches. Sometimes he's like the fourth option, but sometimes he very much is like the second option. So it kind of switches. Like on certain nights, OG may be the second option. Sometimes it's Gary. It's very much Gary. And always the first option is Pascal, but sometimes Scottie, yeah, he steps up and he's the second option. I agree with this, Jimmy. I mean, sometimes we need it more be Gary just because he spreads the floor out and he's a 3-point shooter, second option. But Scottie would be a fantastic one. It's really just him asserting and being aggressive and taking those opportunities because those opportunities are there and he may be leaving them on the table. So it's really, he's got to recognize, be aggressive, and go take them. And I'm all about that. I love Scottie. In some ways, I'd love Scottie to be the first option in some ways down the road at times. But right now, it's Siakam. And yeah, I mean, I would love to see him up the pecking order as far as options of who we go to in offense. Scottie Barnes is showing that he's that guy. Yeah, I'm all about that. Mike's saying Precious second half was shooting like 38% from three. C3s was center with like threes like Embiid for Simmons. Till Scottie gets gravity on the 3 line, we need to have the 5 out for him to be effective, same as Gasol. Man, y'all are making these too complicated. First of all, I don't know who C3s is. You guys got to write it out. C3s, I have no fucking idea who that is because I've never heard that name for anybody in this league. And yeah, I mean, I understand Precious had a better shooting half last season. Yeah, Mike, it's too complicated, man. You gotta make it in morsels that are digestible and easy for me to understand what you're saying. And I can't read that one right now. I'm sorry, I don't even know what you're saying. Isaac's saying, yeah, they work, Tom. Thank you. Okay, yeah, the links didn't work for me, but that's fine. Y'all can look at the links and check them out. Giovanni saying at me, based on Fred VanVleet, JJ Reddick interview, basically Fred blamed injuries, but also Siakam and Barnes getting the ball more for his poor stats. Basically, he wants the ball more. Yeah, he did kind of roundabout say that. But listen, and I don't think he's even being sour about it or anything. He understands that it is that way, and that's just how it is. But the thing is that he's had to like step up and still be that guy, and like he was last year, because we've not had anybody step up. So I don't know. That was a weird interview. In some ways, I'm agreeing with somebody who said earlier that Fred's kind of not taking accountability in some ways, but in some ways he is. So I don't know. I don't like that he did that interview totally. I want to hear the whole thing and see what else he said in it because there may be parts of it that are really good. But I don't like, in fact, I like how JJ says, you don't have to explain yourself to me at all. And that's true. And I don't understand why Fred's doing this. You did not exactly have to do this. In some ways, you explaining what's going on with us and the problems, you didn't really, we don't necessarily need to hear that. We really don't, because in some ways you're just bringing stuff like what Giovanni's saying here, speculation that people read into what you said. And in some ways it's better to just be quiet about that subject and like not comment on it. And I'd really like that JJ Reddick said, you don't owe us this. You don't have to say this stuff to us. And Fred's like, no, I want to. And in some ways, I don't like that. He maybe should have shut up and just not talked about it because he is giving fire to people that want to try and say, oh, there's problems by doing this interview in some ways. So he's only saying this, and it's not that he's selfish or he wants the more shots. He has no problem with taking a back seat to these guys. It's just that it was not working. So in some ways, he's kind of like, well, if I just like been the guy all along, then we maybe not have had the problem. But I don't like that's a flawed logic too. Like, because he should be just doing what he did last year in some ways, even if they say his role is different. Well, it doesn't change how you play basketball. Just go out there and fucking play and do what you've always done. It's like, come on. I mean, either way, I mean, the interview, for the part that I saw was kind of cheesy, and I'd like to see more of it though. because I know that there's probably some really good parts to it that will make that interview more interesting or better to me, because it is true. Some of the stuff that Fred's saying is like, what the fuck are you saying? I mean, this, yeah, I love him and respect him, but in some ways, I wish he hadn't been so candid. Let's just put it that way. He didn't owe it to us to do that. Seymour saying, Gio, laugh out loud. I don't want to see him throw up more half court ball spinning sideways threes. He needs to be a facilitator. Yeah, and I'm all about that. There's nothing wrong with that. And he has no problem with that either in some ways. It's just he's being jerked around. He was supposed to be off ball and taking more shots. But what he's saying is in that interview is that, like, much like Gary and other people that are off ball, he's at the mercy of them finding him to get his shots. Well, also, Fred, you got to make your shots. You're getting shots, you're just not making them in a lot of ways. So, all right, we'll figure this out. All right, OG Van Barnes and Nobi saying Scottie isn't trying because I think he's trying to get people traded. Oh my gosh. All right, listen, I'm gonna say, if you're gonna continue with this kind of shit, yeah, you might not be welcome here soon, even though your name says all the Raptors names in the thing, because this ain't true. This is not true. Scottie is trying. It's just he's a young player. He doesn't totally understand how much he can do on the court, and he's just kind of like, he's learning a lot quickly. And sometimes when he gets in, he can't get engaged in the game right away sometimes, because he may not be totally, like, he's not vet enough in those ways. He's vet in certain ways with instinct, but he's not vet in ways of like how to establish himself in the game from night to night sometimes. And that's what the problem is here. Man, you're really skating on thin ice. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If I see one more comment from you that's fucked up, yeah, it's going to be. Mike saying the dropping center impedes the cutters, so they could cut into the drop center and get sandwiched by the trailing defender. So Scottie can't use his best skill at the moment, effectively perimeter playmaking. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that the whole thing that Brook Lopez was doing this last game, where he was leaving him and letting him, just daring him to shoot. Yeah, okay. Well, we just got to get Scottie to be aggressive and take the shot. He can also attack the rim like he did, take it right to him and go right at him, close up space, as they put it. I like that too. Randolph Phillips saying, good morning to our most beloved, informative Raptor Freaks gang. Blessings on this game day filled with another great expectation for victory. Go for another 50 plus, Pascal. Let's go, Raptors. I'm all about that, Randolph Phillips, and thank you for your daily blessings. We appreciate you, and we hope you have a fantastic weekend, starting off with a great Raptors victory over the New York Knicks. G saying, could it just be some players have better rhythm when they have the ball more? I don't think he meant it against other players per se. I think it could have meant as a rhythm thing. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I need to watch it again a little bit more. I saw like a 12-minute clip and a 5-minute clip, and basically he's kind of like, it's weird. Like I said, he shouldn't have probably even talked about the issues. He could have talked about his own issues with like shooting and stuff. But this stuff about like his role change and stuff, it's like, it's maddening in a way, because like, look, you're having a bad year, dude. You're not. Last year was a good year. You were an all-star last year. This year you're having a down year, and there's a lot of reasons. It's not just because you're not shooting well. You had injuries, you've had different issues, and that's just how it's going. So take ownership of what's happened, Fred, and like, work and get better. But like, I don't necessarily like agree him like trying to blame Nick Nurse shifting the team and how their focal point with their offense is, like on this. If he's trying to blame that, then he's wrong. He can't do that. He needs to just be dependable and do whatever the coach asks of him. And this much of a bad drop off, or like whatever he's consistency with what's going on with him, it's not an excuse for that. You just got to play better, man. But I mean, in his defense, what JJ and him were talking about with injuries and tweaking your jump shot and how you have to like overcompensate and some of that, it totally makes sense for why he's missing shots. Like if he has a back problem, he could be like a little offline like this because he's compensating for the pain on one side. That can totally mess your shot up if you're hurt. And that's a lot of it right there. And then people will say, well, if you're hurt, you shouldn't be taking the shots anyway. We want other people to get those shots. So yeah, Lion Hunter saying, like, I don't know how you watch that and come to a conclusion that he's throwing his teammates under the bus or that he hates Barnes or Pascal. These are all conjectures and biased assumptions. Yes, totally with Lion Hunter. And yeah, I mean, what is your motive? Like, why are you coming at with that view? OG, Barnes, Van Fleet, and Manobi, Siakam, Boucher, Precious, Achua, Nick Nurse 43. Like, why? Why you come at us with it that way? What is your purpose? What is your motive? Do you have a fake name that you're just using to act like you're a Raptors fan? Like, what do you want? Do you want this team to fucking combust and blow up because everybody hates each other? What is your fucking motive is what I'm asking you. You search your soul and try and figure out what you want for fucking the Raptors. You want them to win championships or you want them to fucking blow up? Yeah. You think about what you're putting out in the world there. OG Anunoby, Boucher, Chua, Van Vliet, Bo Cruz, 4382. Okay, yeah. Dwayne Greenridge is here. Good to see you, Dwayne. Good morning, Raptors family. Time to get some good feelings again. Let's beat the Knicks. Let's go. Yes, Dwayne. Yes. The Knicks always have a good chance at coming up and coming in, and you feel better when you play them. It's really weird, y'all. We're going to play the Knicks 3 times very soon. We're going to play them tonight, and then we play the next 2 games against them for the whole entire season within this month. So we're going to get all 4 of our Knicks games out of the way really quickly. It's very similar to like the stupid Brooklyn shit where we played Brooklyn all 4 games right in a row and now we're done with them. Well, the Knicks are going to be done with us in the next 2 or 3 weeks because we're going to play all their games against them here in January pretty much. So Knicks tonight and Knicks 2 more times before the end of the month. So yeah, let's get used to seeing the Knicks in the next month or so. Guardian Transit saying this world is full of rumors. One I heard Raptors are finalizing deal for Poetle. I saw your comment with this yesterday on the stream, Guardian Transit, and I freaked out because I was like, whoa. I took that news and I was like, let me see if it's concrete, if it's real. Is it Woj bombed? And I did not see it anywhere. I was wanting it to see it. I was like, oh, Guardian Transit, ooh, don't you tease me like this. Because if it's true and if it is coming, this is going to be fantastic, y'all. This is going to really, really help the Raptors if we can get Yaka back. Oh, man, you had my hopes up so high when I saw your comment last night. And then I had to go and see if I could verify it. And I could not, unfortunately. But who knows? There is something in the works and there is some sort of murmurs about it and that you're hearing. And I'm not going to dispute because I want what you're saying to be true. Unlike this OG 43, Boucher, Precious, Wancho, Jeff Dowden Jr., Kem Birch, 43, OG Anunoby, I do not want him to be true, but I want what you're saying to be true for sure, Guardian Transit. Ooh, Yakaperto, come back, please. Diane Hart, good to see you, Diane. It's been a bit. We missed you. Good to see our good Raptor freak, Diane Hart. Good morning, Alexi. Hope you're well. I agree with you in not addressing the rumors about Fred unfollowing Scottie. Keep on putting out good content. Let's go Raps tonight. Yeah, what's the use of that? What are we? Are we the National Enquirer? Are we the Sun? Are we a tabloid? Are we a tabloid? No, we're not a tabloid. Listen, if they have any friction, I don't give a shit. Keep it in house and let it just be what it is. I don't want it to happen, but I don't want to put it on blast. I don't want to put it out there even more and say, oh, this is a problem, because I don't think this is a problem. I very much do not think this is a problem. I think that people misunderstand the whole dynamic of their relationship. Fred is a grizzled vet in some ways that he's very no nonsense. And in some ways, Scottie is immature and he's a young kid. He's 21. And in some ways, they're like water and oil in some ways because of differences about them. But they very much do appreciate and love and respect each other. Don't get it twisted. Really don't get it twisted. You can see when they share the ball between each other on the court, they're very happy about it. And you can see Fred talking to Scottie and giving him direction on the court, and there is no problem. Scottie is listening to him, and he is trying to do what he's asking him to do as a leader on the court. So all of the evidence that I see, the words that come out of their mouths, that tells me that this is bullshit. And this is just some manufactured shit that people try and start to cause problems for the Raptors. So I'm wondering who the fuck you are, OG Van Vliet, Nobi, 43, Junior, 22, 45, Coloco. Who the fuck are you? All right, we'll keep going. It's so good to see you, Diane. I know you may be watching us from time to time and just not making it to the chat, but I appreciate that you're still around. That's awesome. Space Cadet is saying, I feel like Pensera is creating a vocal minority of delusional and paranoid fans. Well, we can be a vocal majority. How about that? Let's get the real ones, the real fans that really do care about this team winning and protecting it. That's right. I've said at times, we're like the Knights Templar with the Holy Grail. We protect the Larry O'Brien's quest for the Raptors. In some ways, we're like an Illuminati to try and help the Raptors in positive ways of all kinds of different ways, whether it is in perception online and social media. We do our work there. We do it just in general in life. You could be on the street and walk into the grocery store or something, and somebody says, "Yeah, Raptors, I see your shirt. I really like them, but boy, do they suck right now. I think Fred is horrible." Well, you set them straight in real life, not just with the typing on the computer. You go ahead and say, "Well, Fred is a good champion, and he's done this for our team and this, and you should respect him and all this stuff." Yeah, just be positive, vocal majorities to out say these people, these idiots that are following stupid shit from Pansera. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, we'll counterbalance it. How about that? We'll be the other side that'll come in and be like, yeah, you're full of shit. Yeah, where did you hear that? Oh, okay, now we know. All right. Logical Raptors fanatic saying Lion Hunter, big facts. Not gonna lie, it's the bias lens shined by people with fanboy agendas to defend a young player struggling at the moment. Ironically, defend Scottie against the culture created to hate on Fred VanVleet and Spicy. Once again, these people that have a scarcity mindset, they don't understand they can all be successful and all do well. And once again, if one person is struggling, there's no reason to kick other people into defense of that person to try and help them look better. That's so stupid. That is the dumbest strategy in the world. In fact, these people, I don't think they're really fans of this team. They just want to cause turmoil. They want to cause crazy stuff so that they have things to talk about. Like Pansera don't give a shit if the Raptors win or not. He just wants bullshit to talk about out of his ass. And that's basically what it is. Ron Dan is saying the issue with Fred is that he's a shooter who play makes. The team right now needs a playmaker point guard to manage the offense between Barnes, Siakam, and OG. Unfortunately, Fred is not that playmaker. I wish he would be again, and he did get 12 assists in the last game. So there are signs that he's trying to shift back to that. If Fred starts getting more double-digit assists in his games, will you change your opinion on this, Ramadan? Like, as far as like, if Fred does start showing, oh, he's getting good assist numbers, well, all of a sudden he is playing as a playmaker and he reverted back to his role from last year. I want him to do this because Scottie's not ready and Pascal isn't enough as just a playmaker. He does do some good stuff, but we still need a traditional point guard, and Fred should be playing in that role right now. I hate to say it. He is that guy. He's got to revert his mindset. And it really is kind of like he set himself up all summer with the way he did his programs, the way he was doing his workouts, that he would be playing off ball. And that's why he's programmed in a weird way this year compared to last year. So give him a chance. He's going to switch back. He's trying to right now. And 12 assists against the Milwaukee Bucks on Wednesday is a sign of this. Name was saying Pansera is taboo on this channel. Yeah, we don't acknowledge this fear monger. Yeah, somebody said we need to put a swear jar if we bring him up in here. It is true. We don't like talking about him here. We could just say like that dude who says stupid shit on YouTube, and everybody will know what we're talking about. We don't need to put his name out there or put it on blast. That's what he wants. That's what somebody's saying on Twitter. It's like Michael Grange said, yeah, this is why I don't retweet or say anybody's names because I don't want y'all to get any fame that suck. And Michael Grange literally said that on Twitter one day this week. That, yeah, I don't retweet or like I find content. He probably found mine. He maybe doesn't agree with me. He's not going to put me on blast. So don't be putting people on blast if we don't agree with them. As much as we talk about them, we kind of like give them more attention. And it sucks. It's like, yeah, if I was more controversial, maybe I'd get more attention in some ways like that. But I'm not trying to do that. That's not my motive. But that is that dude's motive. And I'm not going to try and say his name anymore. I'm just going to say that dude, that annoying dude, or that negative guy on YouTube or whatever. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't say his name anymore. I think Nameless is right. Monique's saying, let's not put words in Freddie and Scottie's mouth, please. Thank you. We now know better that we don't than we do by now. All right. Yeah, Monique, I agree with you. It's hearsay. And like these dudes they're ultimate team players. Listen, they're built in a way that they just are teammates and they are all team and all for one. They could, people may not get along, but these guys are professionals and they understand they're on the team. I don't think that that's the case with them. I think very much that they do get along. It's just people are misreading them. And listen, these are ultimate team players. The team is everything to them, both of them. They have the same mentality in a lot of ways. They're very similar. So I don't see why they wouldn't get along because they have the same kind of thoughts about things. That they're put team first. that they're the kind of guys that want to do whatever role and whatever thing on the court to help the team win the most. That they're the same in that way. So it's crazy. Paul B saying, I need some Precious and Coloco jams tonight. Paul B, we got to get that slam dunk reel together for this year. And yeah, I'd love to see more Ferocious Achua and Coloco. You need to get off the DMPs and get back in the game and get us some dunks too. Yeah. Guardian Transit saying, Scottie Barnes, stand up, take the bull by the horns and run with it. Yeah, this is your world. We just live in it. Scottie, you can do whatever the fuck you want on the NBA court. Go down there and just take it to them. I said that to you this summer. I said, Scottie, you go down the low post. Nobody's going to stop you. You can do whatever you want down there. He's like, He's like thinking about it. This isn't like August. I'm like, dude, you go down there. Nobody will be able to stop you. And it's true. Nobody can stop him down low. Nobody can stop him. And nobody's proven it yet. So we need to explore this further to see how far and how many people he can be unstoppable against. Brooke Lopez, Miles Turner. Yeah, there's a good list already of good defensive big men he's scoring on. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, nameless, fine jar, please, for saying that goof's name. There you go. See, Tom Duke is a sheriff, and he might need some fines here. Or maybe, no disrespect, everybody, if our sheriffs see his name in the chat before I get to it, we may have to retract or something. Leave it. I guess leave it. Let's not do censorship here. But yeah, maybe we just try and steer away from him. Blackhawk saying, Lex, you got to Discord or StreamYard for all the people limited with the 200 character limits. I still text during my office hours because I have to keep my job. Okay, no problem, Blackhawk. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out. Like, I do want to expand our interaction on this channel, and I am in the early works of getting a Discord going. I'm just stupid. I don't understand how it works. It's kind of like a Snapchat. I tried out Snapchat, and I was like, "What the fuck is this app? I can't figure it out. I'm too old, I guess." And Discord, I'm having trouble getting used to it, or I've worked with it a little bit, but I don't totally understand how to utilize it effectively. But I'm gonna get better and figure it out. I gotta like play around with it and train myself with it, basically. Yeah, and I apologize if I don't want to mess with your job. That's the last thing I want to do, Blackhawk. Tom Duke's got the money in the jar. Okay, look out. Ramadan saying Scottie usually tries to do the small things early in the game, like setting screens, etc. Yeah, and the most important thing to him, obviously, with Nick Nurse's philosophy, is making sure he plays sound defense, that he's not missing his defensive assignments. And it may be that he's really more overthinking or having to really like concentrate on his defensive stuff, that maybe they've been really working on it with him, that in these troubled times where they've had these meetings, one of the things that may be critical of Scottie is some of the stuff he's losing on defense and letting the back door open and guys scoring behind him. So he may be very much more in his head about defense. And this may have been the case on against Milwaukee, that he's like in a defensive mindset. So he's not even really, and he misses the shots he does happen to take. And then in the second half, he's like, oh shit, I have an offer. I better get going. And then he like tries to make up for it and gets 19 points by the end of the game by fucking around. So yeah, I think it may be that like, all right, Scott, you may be like really worried about establishing the defensive stuff, the setting the screens, the little things, as Ramadan's saying. But integrate that, like I'm going to be going and getting mine also right away from the beginning of the game too. Seymour saying, OG Van Barnes skating on thin ice. Thin ice. That's right. Nancy Kerrigan, look out. I got that pipe. Bam, bam. Nameless is saying, I'm totally behind that. Here's my $1.50 for the jar. The price went up. Inflation. All right. There we go. We got money in this the jar now. Space Cadet saying the same people harping on Fred were the same ones demanding Kyle be traded for Conley in the championship year when he had like a 10-game stretch of playing poorly. Some fans are just entitled. Some fans just want to kick people when they're down. Some fans are just like critical people. They want to be critical of everything. They're critical of themselves, probably in their own life. They're critical of other people that they don't know. They just see on the street. Oh, look at that fat person. Ooh, they should maybe exercise more. Well, you're an asshole. You're going around judging everybody. You're going to judge everybody on the team just because they're a public person and they're playing a game for millions of dollars and they're in front of everybody, and you just feel like, oh, I got to judge Fred. I just feel so judgy today. I got up on the judgy side of the bed. So I'm going to go and judge a whole bunch of people all day today. Yeah, it makes me feel good about myself in a hollow way. Yeah, let's go judge people. Justin, come on, let's go. Let's go outside and go judge these people. Yeah, look at that lady out there, Justin. Yeah, she's ugly. We're judging. Yeah, what is this judging people? Always judging people. I got to judge Fred and judge him critically. What is this? Quit judging people. Let people be who they are and accept them for who they are. All right. And this judging stuff, it's just a cheap high for idiots that are insecure with themselves. That's what's going on. That's what it is. I figured it out. Y'all are insecure. So you take it out on Fred VanVleet. Why, if you're insecure in your own life, do you want to take it out on Fred VanVleet, this man who's accomplished so much? Maybe he makes you mad because he's that short guy that did make it. And you're that short guy that wanted to, but you didn't. You're like, oh, Fred makes me so mad because he did something that I couldn't do and I really always wanted to. Well, there you go. Maybe that's why they hate him, because he did something that a short guy did. And the other short guys are like, man, I wish I did done what Fred did. Damn it. Ah, all right. Okay, that's funny. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, gee, that's what he meant. When you have the ball more, you have rhythm with the ball feeling, and it makes it easier to shoot for him, but it's something that can be fixed. Yeah, okay. Like it's kind of like a heat up thing. Like if he's shooting a lot, obviously he can get himself in the rhythm because he's getting volume. But if he's only called upon every couple times down the court, it's harder for him to establish a game rhythm with his shot. I still feel like that's a cop out, Fred, because you're a vet and you're somebody that should be able to get hot or do whatever you need to do in any given moment. Because seriously, you do this sometimes. You don't score any for the whole game. And then the fourth quarter last year, you'd be gangbusters and hit like 3 or 4 threes in the last 6 minutes a game. And that would be huge in why we would have won that game. And that's what I'm saying, man. You got to figure it out. Like in some ways, I like I said, I don't like that you did this interview. You don't need to give us excuses in some ways. Just fucking make it happen on the court is what I'm saying. He's like, you can go talk to JJ Reddick about all the problems in the world. We don't care. Just get that win and get going good. And we'll give you some time. I know, listen, if it's not tonight, I hope it is. You played pretty good in the last game. So it's like you're not even playing that bad. It's just that you're not being clutch at the end of the games. And I know you'll get that back. And you're going to have some sort of way of where you help us win a game and it'll feel better. And everybody will be like, okay, this is steady Freddie. We remember. And I just hope that for you as soon as tonight. I really, really do. Randolph Phillips saying, I didn't like the interview either. Fred came across too cocky and arrogant. I didn't hear anything that I didn't hear discussed on this channel. It lacks substance. Learned nothing new. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to tread lightly here because I don't want to be too critical of him. I just wish that, like, I want to see more of that interview because I'm sure there's parts of that interview that are much better. And we just happen to see that juicy part that they just pre-released to set up for it. So until I see the whole interview, I want to see what else was said in it. Because they'll get more full form view of what he was all about in that interview. And they're just cherry picking what they wanted to show us from yesterday. So I want to see what else he said on there too. But yeah, the initial thing, I'm like, I wish he hadn't done it. And I wish he'd listened to JJ and said, you don't need to explain yourself to us. Because he really didn't. In some ways, you open the door to criticism by having to explain yourself in that way. Just ask George W. Bush. Monique saying, good story time. I'm starting to meet fans in the Raptors Tonight live stream at Raptors games lately. A core moment for me. Awesome, Monique. You are a celebrity in Raptors world. People should want to come and see you and visit you and say, hey, Superfan Monique and stuff. So, yeah, you meet some people talking in the Randy Urban live chat with that goofiness over there. I watched that episode. Mark Jones was on there. Mark Jones, Paul Jones's brother, showed up on Raptors Tonight, and I did listen to what Alvin said, and I did agree with him. He was awesome. Alvin was so good in that Raptors Tonight, and anybody who's upset with Alvin and what he said on Wednesday night after the game is stupid. If you're coming after Alvin Williams, and you know what I'm talking about, you're an idiot. Because, like, honestly, that guy is a real NBA player, a guy who played at the highest level. And, he knows what he's talking about. And whoever thinks that he's stupid or wrong, what he's saying, you're the idiot that doesn't know what you're talking about. Alvin Williams does know what he's talking about. But, yeah, I love that you're getting more interaction in person with people that you just talk to online. Part of it's from this channel, too, and the fun we've had meeting up at the games and my birthday this year and stuff like that. Yeah, hopefully there'll be more and more of this interconnectedness. And it's nice after the pandemic and everybody being at home to get back out there and see people in person. It's very nice. Cool Cat saying, Pascal said everyone has to stay together in tough times, and we fans need to do the same and stay supportive of our team. Fan base needs to be positive. That's right, Cool Cat. That is exactly right. That's a big part of what we're doing here and what we're all about. And I believe this, like Pascal saying, like, look, we can't turn on each other. We got to stay together and really be on the same page and working towards the same goal of getting wins again. Yeah, Nameless saying, there's the swimming ice barns. That's a funny little one there. That's pretty good. All right, let me keep going. No, 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 no. Oh, I skipped too far up. All right, here we go. Where is this? Oh, there I am. Okay, Mike. That's the issue with Braun and players shooting worse than their career numbers. It's based not on not touching the ball much and have no rhythm or ball feeling. So Braun facilitating every time hurts team percentage. Talking about LeBron James and why players don't play well around him. Yeah, I could see that. Rick Glazer's saying, if you have a problem with anybody, I have a mob ties. So for a small fee, I can have them rubbed out. Raptors. All right. Here we go. All right, Pensair. Look out. Look out. Look out. Rick is here and Rick has connections. And I totally believe him. And it's nice to know that I have friends and allies that we do have on this channel that are people that can have things done. Let's just put it that way. Thank you, Rick, and we appreciate you. Raptor Freak Rick Glazer. That is a thank you, very nice offer. Thank you. Tom saying, Rick, it's good to have on our side. Respect, Rick. Yes, very much respect, Rick. That's right. Fine jar money. Yep. We'll use that to pay the hitman. The fine jar money. All proceeds of the fine jar go to Rick. Yes, I love it. All right, good value. G saying at the game during the commercial, I saw Freddie talking to Scottie, and Scottie walking and nodding his head. They were communicating for sure. Yeah, you can see it in the game from time to time that when there's like free throws being shot, Fred will come over and take Scott and get his ear for a sec and say something to him for a second, and Scottie will nod and be like, okay. The people that don't like each other will tune each other out, and that's not the case. He's listening to Fred. They're communicating. They're talking. It's just everything's not smooth this year, so everybody wants to make an excuse for why things aren't smooth for this team, and they just automatically think, oh, then players don't like each other. That's the stupidest fucking you just think that maybe the team's just not playing well for certain reasons, and that doesn't have to be like a tabloid, like soap opera, like reality show kind of thing. Oh, these guys are fighting. Oh, these two people in the Big Brother house hate each other. That's why things aren't going on. Well, you can see it because it's on the show. But this is not what's happening with the Raptors. And I thank you, G. He was at the game. He saw his own damn two eyes, no cameras on, exactly how much those guys are getting along. Monique saying, let's get underneath Julius Randle's skin again. Yeah, that was fun last time we played the Knicks, and how Julius Randle got so annoyed in that game. He was acting out and stuff. I was saying he was acting very Embiid-like. And yeah, maybe that can happen again. It is really good that RJ's not playing tonight. Obviously, he's a huge weapon for them. And I feel good about tonight. For some reason, I have a good feeling about tonight. And we need to win. We just need those good feelings. Our guys have been really mired in negativity and depression and sadness from all the losing. And they really need an uptick, something to feel good. And this would be a real good momentum to go into the games that are coming up. I know Portland's the one after this, and that's a little tough. But those two Charlotte games are looking real nice next week. But first, New York. We can't get ahead of ourselves, but this home stretch is really important. Everybody keeps talking about it. We need to do well in this home stretch because these are games we need to get W's on because we need W's so bad. Blackhawks saying Discord is like MS Teams. I'm trying to figure it out too. I want a podcast about 3D printing in the future. That's very cool. 3D printing is such an interesting phenomena because you can do so much with it. I know that it takes some resources and it can be expensive to get the material to make things out of, but it's really, really intriguing what people that create things are able to do with 3D printers. There's like so many interesting innovations. And it's kind of a weird thing where it allows everybody, if you can afford a 3D printer, to do a lot of things that they couldn't do before. That is very, very interesting to me as far as like 3D printing in the future and making things that you want to make for yourself. Before you would have had to pay a factory to make the plastic and the molding and get everything. Well, you can do it yourself now if you can afford a 3D printer. And yeah, that's very interesting. I'd be interested in your content when you do that, Blackhawk. And yeah, if you learn more about Discord, hopefully we can share notes and maybe figure it out together. Because it's not intuitive to me. I go into it and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Okay, there's my name. Like, how do I add people? How do I actually interact with people on it? I have it downloaded and I go in there and I look around. And I'm like, okay, well, what's next? I'm like, what do I do? I have to figure this out. Logical Raptors Fanatics saying Fred VanVleet is the team's hard father. like the high expectations and accountability. Spicy is the team's mother figure in a sense, of positivity and encouragement and confidence. It's nature, mentor, team that works. Yeah, in nature and nurture. This is the thing. Fred is the hard ass. Fred is the one who's kind of had to be the jerk at times, and that's not easy to be that person in the role. You have two parents and you're raising a kid. One parent likes to be the nice, fun parent, and then the other one has to be the hard ass and the jerk. And that sometimes the kid doesn't like that person, and somebody that's the part of it is tough. That Fred has to be the stern, like tough leader on the team, and that may be part of what people are misreading is that they may see Fred like come at him like kind of like a very like stern like way. It's like, ugh. But he has that license to do that. He's older, he's a champion, and he knows what he's talking about. And he needs to be heard. And meanwhile, maybe people misinterpret that he's the hard leader, as Mike put it on the team, that he's hard on everybody because he is that guy. He has that level of excellence he expects from the Raptors and how they perform. And in some ways, he's the guy who, as a player, has to hold him accountable. Now, he's been shutting up this season because he can't, because he hasn't played well enough. But also, he probably shouldn't be doing that as much right now just because Nick should be doing it. Because Nick really is, when the team is this bad and having these kind of problems, the coach is the one who should be doing most of the finger pointing and coming at guys to tell them they need to be better, and not one of the players within the team. Because that can start bad feelings. And Fred's holding his tongue in this way. He said that he hasn't talked to any of the players about how they're playing in that kind of way since training camp. He used all his bullets in training camp. He's not doing it during the season. Nick is doing it during the season. So that's good. Oh, my brother Carl is here. Good morning to you, Carl Otts. I love you. Tell Ansley, Harry, everybody, I love them too. And I hope you guys have a great weekend coming up this weekend. And say hi to mom and dad too. I hope the weather's nice down in Georgia. Yes, Carl Otts. I love you, man. That's my bro, yo. And let's see. Justin wants to say hi too, because he used to live with Carl too. Say hi, Carl. His voice has changed. It's weird. I don't know what's going on with his voice. Mike is saying Mo is big time for sure. For sure. I mean, she's a Google Pixel ad, for Pete's sake. She's a multi-million-dollar corporation's ad on TV. That's a big deal, y'all. That's a big deal. Cool Cat saying, I don't think we should trade Fred unless him and front office can't agree on a contract price. I can get behind that. He wants to be a lifer on our teams. Some people hear that and they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, we want him to be on this team forever. We want him to be on this team forever. You may not want him, but we do. And all these Fred haters like, no, Fred is a lifer. No. I'm like, yes, we do want him here. Even if he's like our backup point guard or just spiritual leader off the bench, or turns into like a Lowry role, where he's not exactly like he's more tuned out, but he's still doing like really good like glue stuff and leadership stuff and clutch stuff and stepping up in the right time stuff like Lowry used to. We just don't need him to be carrying all the water. We need other people to carry the water. Fred can show up at the end of the game and hit the big shots to take us home. That's what we need. Diane Hart is saying, thanks, Alexi. I've been busy with work, etc., but I do listen to you whenever I can. I love your content. Thank you, Diane. I know some of y'all can't make 9:30 every morning and that you catch me later. And I know y'all are still around. And when you do pop back up and you come say hi to us live, we love it. We love seeing old names from other months that we've seen at different times in the past year or so of this show. So, yeah, thank you, Diane, and keep going. And hope work is better because it's Friday, and the Raptors are hopefully going to win tonight. Yes. Mike's saying, I think everyone forgets how Tampa started, too. Not going to lie, we started 2-10. Remember, 8 games under, and we actually, with no real centers, got back to 500. Have faith that things can be fixed this season still. Well, I will say this, Mike, that season was different, and there were other teams that were really bad during that season, too. This year is so weird. Like we've been saying, every single team is a tough test. There's no easy games anymore. The Tampa season, there were still easy games. There were like a couple teams, there may be like a half dozen to 10 teams in the league that are very winnable and gettable against because they weren't very good teams. Well, this year is none of that. And that's the big problem with this philosophy is like, sure, yeah, we were bad then and we were able to string some stuff together. But the whole league was worse at that time. There were a lot of teams that weren't that good around that time where we could get wins and steal them. Now it's not the case. Every single night we line up against another team, it's a tough game. There's no gimme games anymore. And that's a big, huge difference. And this year from last year, even the parity is just so crazy right now. It's hard to get just an easy win against a shitty team because there's no teams that are actually totally shitty. Like I would say maybe Charlotte is next week because they've had a lot of problems and they're missing very key players and like there's no confidence in them. So maybe we can beat a shitty team next week twice. Charlotte, I don't know. I would hope so. If we get both wins against Charlotte next week, yes, that would be kind of like what you're talking about. But that's the thing. I think that the league has just improved overall, and that it's hard for us to compare that season 2 years ago to right now, just because the parity is so crazy in the league. I hate it in some ways, but it is good for the league. It really is. G saying the Knicks will game plan around Pascal. Everyone else has to step up and shoot and score well. Yeah, they may do a lot of similar stuff that like Milwaukee just did. And obviously, he just scored 52 against them on their home court. They're going to have some sort of game plan to try and stop him. But also, he got 52 against them. Maybe he can still score on them no matter what they try and do. That's what I hope. Cool Cat saying Raptor fans should not talk about trading players. We are not a free agent destination. We draft and develop our own stars and resign them. We just support each other and stay together, per Pascal. Yes. I love that philosophy. That's a great philosophy. I mean, I don't like talking about trades. I don't like talking about getting them coming and going. I don't like guys leaving. Sometimes it's just hot air. It's not worth talking about. And yeah, this is true. We're not a free agent destination to a degree. Now, it's gotten a little better in recent years, but it is really about making our development in-house and doing things from what in-house. And these are the guys we're invested in already. Fred, Pascal, OG, and now Scottie. And now it's kind of like, you don't want to throw your investment away or your time accrued with them, especially because there's a lot of like second nature accrued with somebody like Fred VanVleet that we kind of like, when you lose it, you lose some intangibles like when we lost Kyle Lowry. And I don't think that people under realize the impact that Fred has on our team and how much those intangibles really matter. Logical Raptors fanatic has been talking about this for months. He really understands the importance of Fred other than just scoring. There's so many different things he's doing on the court, defensively, just leadership wise, just as far as like regulating the game with the flow of how he brings the ball up and kind of controls the tempo. There's so much that he does. So that may be part of what the problem is this year, is that because Fred's not bringing the ball up or doing those things, he's not actually controlling the flow of the game or the control of the game, and that's part of the why we're so crazy right now. And maybe that's part of the reason why at the beginning, in the middle of the beginning of the year, he said the game is so chaotic right now. It's chaos out there because he's not controlling it like he did last year. And the game is just so wild with like deflections, the ball bouncing this way, and people running up and down the court this way is kind of what he was talking about. But last year, he could really like control the flow of the game to a degree as the ball handler for the Raptors. And that's part of the difference this year is he's not controlling that flow totally. And I don't totally agree with him not doing it, but I don't totally agree with him doing it either. I think in some ways we've seen a faster flow up the court because we're doing it the way we're doing things this year instead of him bringing the ball up himself. But that's the sacrifice. We can get a faster transition and bring the ball up the court faster with Scottie and Pascal, but we don't have as much control and like kind of like putting our will on the game without Fred doing that for us as the ball handler instead. So there's a trade-off, and we're trying to figure out which one's better. And at times we do go back to Fred to kind of control the game. I don't know. They got to figure this out. We just need to win. Monique saying some bench production tonight, please, 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 guys. Not name Chris because we know what he brings in night in, night out. We need other than just Chris. Chris will do stuff. We need a lot of guys to do stuff. Precious. We just need some double-digit scorers, like at least 6 or 7 on the team tonight. Logical saying it's not that much different, but we are better too, though. That's the NBA grind. Things hit at any time to any team, and that can change things. Yeah, sometimes it's luck. You just got to get lined up with hitting teams at the right times, and you may hit teams at the absolute worst times, which just seems like what's been happening with us a lot this season. We could have had luck. We could hit guys when they're injured or like they're not like feeling good or they're not playing well. That's where the luck is. Like sometimes you play a team when they're really at a high level. That seems like that's what's been happening with us is we're getting the best of teams instead of the worst of teams. And maybe the Celtics are going and seeing the worst of teams from time to time. So it's tough. We got to just do what we got to do. Yeah, you may be right. It's not that much different, but I really do feel like this year is different than even last year. that the team, the evenness of all the teams in the league is just very, very like it's weird how much different it is. Because usually there's a stratification in the standings with different groups of different things, and it's very like fleshed out, very kind of like in a weird pattern at this point. The winning and losing of teams right now. All right, let's see. No fourth quarter meltdown, guys. Go get it done. Yes, Monique. All right, let's do the real mascot matchup. The last time we saw the Raptor, he's in the woods and he's approaching a 52-point buck who's in the woods. And it's kind of like, I don't even know what he wants to try and do. I think he's trying to help it because he's kind of caught on a tree. It's antler. He has so many points on its antlers, 52, that it's like stuck kind of next to a tree. And the Raptor's kind of like, I want to help it, but I don't know if I should. It looks dangerous. So the Raptor's very slowly coming towards the buck, and the buck isn't seeing him, kind of snorting and like not being totally like nice and like kind of like that it would be nice person. And the Raptor's like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can help this thing. You need to understand, Raptor, that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And you're coming at this buck. This is not a good idea, Raptor, but he's gonna do it still because he's a humanitarian, or I guess a dinosauritarian. I don't know what you would call that for the Raptor. He's a humanitarian of the dinosaur ilk, and he's gonna help the buck just because he has a big heart. So he's going and he's trying to like he's got the elk around the buck around the neck. He's kind of like trying to, and the buck's like, and he's like, can I get it? And he's like really slowly. It's not getting very far. It's taking a long time. And it's really kind of like, he's not showing any strength and it's not going very well. And the buck's kind of like, and he's like, all right, what should I do? So he goes and he gets like a stick. And he's trying to like unjam it because it's literally like stuck in between two tree trunks, the antlers. And he's just trying to jam it out of there, and the buck is going, and he's like, oh, I gotta get this thing out of there. And he's like, it's not working, nothing's working. He's like not having any chance to do it, like, and so he's kind of like, oh, should I just give up and just walk away from the buck? He's like, nah, I should probably just really, really help him. So he's kind of like, you know what? I'm going to give it one more really, really good hard try right now. So he's like, he really digs in there and he's like, and he like, he's trying to push it through the antler through, and the deer, the buck kicks him in the nuts. Oh, like at one moment, like when he's nearby and he kicks him in the nuts by accident. He's like, oh, that hurt. Oh, it hits the buck kicked him in the nuts. And then like, so he hits the antler and it comes out. Well, is the buck happy that he freed the buck? No, no, it's not. It's angry at him and it's trying to impale him now. It's chasing him and it is sticking him in the back as he's running away. And he kind of tramples him. He sticks him in the back. The Raptor falls down and he kind of tramples him and runs off into the woods. So the Raptor's now kind of stuck and bleeding in his back. He kind of looks a little bit like how he did after he messed with that grizzly a couple weeks ago. And now he's kind of bleeding and he's on the ground and he's hurting. And what will happen? He's got some bad nicks in his back, some bloody nicks. Will he bleed like badly and be in trouble? Like, does he need medical attention? What's going to happen next on the Real Mascot matchup? Will he get some help for his nicks in his back from the antlers? We'll have to find out next time on the Real Mascot matchup. What a weird story. Why did he help that buck? It's like, why did you do that? And then he got kicked in the nuts, of course. Crazy. Cool cat saying, I like Fred VanVleet's hard nose and Pascal being the soft nose nuance explanation. That's a good duo. Then OG can relate to the young guns method. That's how I see the trio managing the leadership. Yeah, there's quite a good leadership structure on the Raptors roster. You got Fred, the hard-nosed, stern father. As Mike put it, the nice, caring, nurturing Pascal Siakam. And then you got OG, the cool kid, the cool kids can go talk to and say. And then you got Thad, who's like a grizzled vet of wisdom. You know, there's a lot of different like kind of energy leader with Chris Boucher. You know, you've got different leaders on this team that kind of bring different kind of leadership, and it's cool. And you do need diversified leadership like this. In some ways, Scottie is a leader also. As a young player also, he can be very much a leader in different capacities on the team, whether it's like just positivity and being happy and stuff. In fact, that may be what we need you to do, Scott. Last year, you were such a beacon of light, so smiley and so like vibes leader kind of thing. We need you to get those vibes back. And maybe this is part of what Nick's talking about how he wants you to be more enthusiastic and like up for games. That he wants you to bring those vibes, the vibes check. And in some ways, like your light has been dimmed a little bit this season in some of the ways that you like to be so expressive and smiley. Maybe it's a little more real, the hard knocks of the NBA. And it's harder for you to be like in that very positive, smiley, optimistic space. Like you're having a hard time. And I feel like when we can get back to good things going, that you're this positive light of a leader that we need to see shine again. And that if you can make this happen before we get like out of the mud, this may help us get out of the mud. If you can be that kind of vibes leader. So all these guys have different leadership kind of like things that they do for the team. And I feel like Scottie's leadership is the vibes. So get those vibes strongs again, SB4, and be great tonight. That's what we'd like to see. Yeah. Mike is saying the thing with Fred controlling the tempo is it's also knowing game time and score and fouls and everything and how he runs it. There are positions where we need a high percentage shot. Scottie Barnes and Pascal are attack mode 24/7. Yeah, this is true, Mike. That he's looking at how many possessions are left with the clock and for that quarter. He's thinking about like closing out quarters strong. He's thinking there's all kinds of things he's taken into account with how he manages things. And I think this is right. And that in some ways, our haphazard craziness this season is not being managed enough by Fred VanVleet. And that is part of the problem. I wish he was just managing it again. Good Eye says Fred is a terrible leader. In what way? Why is he a terrible leader? He's a great leader as far as showing that this is the way you can go if you don't nobody believes in you and you believe in yourself and you bet on yourself and you make things happen. What is it? How is he a terrible leader? I don't understand that. What is it? What is it? You have to elaborate. Expand on that if you can, please. Good Eye. That statement is just like name calling. I don't know. Give me some factual evidence or something. I know that you're on a time delay and that maybe you would write it in quicker, but that's just how this chat has to be. I'll talk for another 5 minutes, so please write in there why he's a terrible leader. You just can't drop things like that. You got to give us evidence. We want to hear your reasoning on why you say that because he's a fantastic leader. This man has led a team to a G League championship, a team to an NBA championship. He is a leader that is good. Trust me. I mean, where's the basis for this? I want to know why you think this. Seriously, tell me why. All right, let's just do a recap real quick for tonight. The injuries for tonight are OtToe Porter Jr. For our side, and RJ Barrett is not playing tonight in his home country against the Raptors at Scottie Bank Arena. No RJ tonight and no OtToe. OtToe. Yeah. The referees for tonight, head crew chief is Mark Davis. Not a bad ref for us. He has had problems with us in the past, but he's tried to make amends, and we appreciate that for you, Mark Davis. We'll have the pancakes ready for you. Sean Corbin is the second ref, a very grizzled veteran ref who has been kind to the Raptors. We do not mind Sean Corbin, even though we lost the last game he refereed for us. We won the last game that Mark Davis refereed for us. And Brandon Adair is the third ref. He is actually one of the best refs for the Raptors. Statistically, we win 75% of our games when he is present as a referee, and he is one of the top 5 refs in the NBA rated for the Raptors. So I like Brandon Adair being the young third ref, and I don't mind Mark Davis or Sean Corbin either. So pretty good ref crew going into the game tonight. All right, let's see. Isaac saying Fred VanVleet interview puts his IQ on display. Respect and courage for him being open about his struggles. That's right. See, that's the problem. He's making himself vulnerable for people that hate him to come at him with knives. And in some ways, that's strong. That's a strength of character that he doesn't care. He's putting himself out there, and people are going to be critical of him, but he's being real. And he's just telling it like it is, how he feels and how things are going. And you know what? He's going to get criticism when he puts himself out there, and he's open and vulnerable about his struggles. And this is the thing. These people just want to come and dump on him and come after him with knives. Fine, you go ahead. But we're as defenders, we love Fred. I want Fred to be a Raptor for life. He is a great leader. You are wrong. He's one of the best leaders in the league. And people like Boston sports fan would love to have Fred VanVleet on their team. Don't get it twisted. You don't think that the Philadelphia 76ers want Fred VanVleet on their team? Yeah, they do. They've seen him hurt them so many times. I've heard random gamers say, oh my gosh, Fred VanVleet, he drives me crazy. He told me that himself, Philly fan. So that's the thing, y'all. It's like if he went to the Bulls, they'd love to have him. The Magic, all these other teams would love to have him. He is a very good player in this league. So put some respect on his name. All right, let's see. Did you see his interview? He said he could get 30 points in any game. Well, he could in some ways. I mean, it depends on if he's hitting his shot. But yeah, of course he's capable of hitting 30 any game. I mean, we've seen that from him. He's gotten 55 or 55, yeah, in a game before. So there's not, that's realistic. What's wrong with him saying that? Of course he could get 30 in a game. It's just not happening recently, but he could get back to that very, very soon. Tom Duke saying he was on defense, knows and hears these haters. Good day, Boston. Happy Friday. I like to see the friendliness between a hated team of the Boston Celtics and us, and still we can be friendly with their fans. I like that. The Knicks fans wanted and know he would have changed them for the better, but they understand and say Fred VanVleet wasn't interested in the Knicks and wanted to be a Raptor. Fred is not a terrible leader. Shut up, Space Cadet. Yes, good eye. I think you need to go to the optometrist. Yeah, your name may be that, but I think you may need to go to the optometrist and get a re-examination. Please go do that. All right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up right now. I appreciate y'all coming in for this preview today for tonight against the Knicks. Guys, just play them better. Just be the better team. Out Raptor them. Be all over the place, out hustling, out rebounding. Just establish the paint. And don't let them do things down near the paint. I don't want to see no Mitchell Robinson 20-point, 15-rebound game tonight. Fuck that shit. Y'all establish the paint and be the big dogs on the court. Scottie, get off it going. Get it going quick right away from the beginning of the game. OG, Pascal, Freddie, please hit those shots. And Nick, play your bench. Play it more effectively. Get some better rotations in and get some time off for the main guys. You cannot play them so much. It's crazy. Trust in Cam Birch. Just play him. He will help you win games. Trust me. Oh, my gosh. All right, Tom Duke saying, go Raptors, and let's go Fred VanVleet. We stand for Fred VanVleet. If y'all don't stand for Fred VanVleet, you're in the wrong channel. Seriously. And keep coming in here with this stuff. We're going to smack it down. Go to the optometrist today. I made an appointment for you, Good Eye, and you can go down there and see them at 3 o'clock at Spadina Dental. Yeah, I got you an optometrist appointment at the dental office. Yeah, in Chinatown, too. It's great. They're great people. Say that Raptor Freak sent you down there. Dr. Tony is a very nice man. He'll say, oh, Raptors Freak. Yes, I love him. Great teeth. All right, let's go Raptors.